Welcome back, folks. Today we're diving into Ethereum wallets, the tools that let you manage and store your ETH and other digital
Yep.
assets.
So essentially, an Ethereum wallet acts as your gateway into the Ethereum network, right? It's like your entry ticket.
Exactly. Think of Ethereum as a decentralized supercomputer powered by thousands of devices all over the world. And your wallet, well, it's the bridge that lets you send, receive, and interact with decentralized applications, or
Right.
dApps.
Interesting. And when we talk about these wallets, we're basically discussing a range that spans from software to hardware solutions. Is that correct?
That's spot on. There are two broad categories: software wallets and hardware wallets. The software side further splits into desktop, mobile, and browser wallets.
Yeah. Could you break down the differences? Like, what's the advantage of a desktop wallet versus a mobile or browser one?
Sure, desktop wallets are downloaded to your PC, so they store your keys locally on your computer's hard drive. This makes them a bit more secure since your data isn't constantly online, but you do face risks from viruses and malware.
And then mobile wallets, they're like a crypto version of your bank's mobile app, right? Always accessible, but maybe less secure because your phone is frequently connected to the internet.
Exactly. Mobile wallets are super convenient if you're day trading or need instant access, but the trade-off is that they're more exposed to threats like malware if your phone gets compromised.
Right, got it. What about browser or web wallets? I know MetaMask is a popular one in that realm.
Correct. Browser wallets, which run as browser extensions like MetaMask, integrate directly with dApps. They're pretty easy to install and set up, but you need to be cautious about fake extensions since any scam can expose your wallet to risks.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Then we have the hardware wallets, the ones that look like USB sticks. They're not connected to the internet, so that provides extra security, yes?
Right. Hardware wallets are like physical vaults for your crypto. With limited screens and buttons to prevent accidental actions, they protect your private keys by keeping them offline, which makes them significantly immune to online hacks.
I find it interesting that there's also the concept of paper wallets. How do those fit into the picture?
Paper wallets are quite fascinating. They're literally sheets of paper with your wallet details, usually in the form of a QR code. You print your keys out and store them physically, sometimes even laminated for durability. They're considered one of the most secure options if you're not frequently accessing your
Yeah,
funds.
very secure. There's also a discussion to be had about custodial versus non-custodial wallets, right?
Absolutely. With custodial wallets, a third party holds your private keys, much like a bank, so you give up some degree of control in exchange for convenience. On the other hand, non-custodial wallets let you manage your private keys yourself, which means you're solely responsible for keeping your keys safe.
True, and that responsibility can be stressful. Some folks argue that the extra control in non-custodial wallets is worth the hassle, but surely there's a risk if you lose your keys, huh?
Exactly. Losing your keys in a non-custodial wallet means, well, you lose your funds permanently. It's a classic trade-off, control versus safety.
Right, no middle ground there. Diving a bit deeper, could you walk me through how these wallets actually function? I know it involves public and private keys.
Sure can. When you set up an Ethereum wallet, it generates a pair of cryptographic keys. The public key is like your digital mailbox address. Anyone can send you ETH by using that. The private key, on the other hand, is your secret code. It's a 64-digit hexadecimal number that allows you to control your funds. Keeping it secure is absolutely essential.
That's a neat analogy. Almost like your mailbox can receive letters, but only you have the key to open it. But how do transactions work with these keys?
Good question. When you send ETH, your wallet uses your private key to sign the transaction, kind of like sealing an envelope with your signature. The network then verifies this signature using your public key, ensuring that the transaction is indeed coming from you.
That's clever. And all this ties back to Ethereum's decentralized nature. Without a central authority, these wallets really empower users.
Indeed, they do. Ethereum empowers users with a lot of control, but with that comes the responsibility for security. One of the key security measures is setting up a recovery phrase when you first create your wallet.
Recovery phrases are a lifesaver, aren't they? They let you restore your wallet if you lose access to your private key.
Exactly. You typically get a series of words, a randomly generated phrase that, if kept safe, will allow you to recover your account. Just like storing your house keys in a secret spot, you need to ensure that phrase
Right
is
on.
kept secure, away from prying eyes.
But some critics say that the complexity of these setups can discourage newcomers to the crypto space. What do you think?
That's a fair point. It's like comparing, say, managing a sophisticated, ultra-secure safe to just keeping money in a piggy bank. The higher level of security does come with a steeper learning curve. However, the benefits, especially in a world where digital theft is a real threat, outweigh the initial complexity in my view.
I get that. Yeah, though I sometimes wonder if making it simpler might attract more users who are less tech savvy. After all, ease of use is key in adoption.
Absolutely. And that's why many wallet developers are constantly striving to improve both security and simplicity. It's a balance that every crypto platform is trying to achieve, kind of like designing a car that's both safe and fun to drive.
Interesting analogy. And speaking of design, did you know that the first Ethereum wallets came out right around the network's launch in 2015 with clients like My Other Wallet?
Yes, indeed. It's amazing how far the technology has come since then. Back then, it was quite rudimentary, but now we've got a diverse ecosystem offering multiple layers of
Progress is
security
clear.
and features.
And what about security updates? I read that many wallets have adopted features such as two-factor authentication after past attacks like the DAO hack.
That's absolutely relevant. The DAO hack was a wake-up call for the whole community, leading to robust security measures like two-factor authentication, regular updates, and more modern encryption techniques. These updates help safeguard against vulnerabilities that were exploited in the early days of Ethereum.
Yeah, it's all about evolving with the threats. So, if someone's looking to choose the best Ethereum wallet, what factors should they actually consider?
Well, they need to think about a few key points: the level of security they need, how often they'll be accessing their funds, and which functionalities are important for them, like whether they're trading frequently or simply holding. Also, they should check the wallet's compatibility with the various Ethereum token standards, like ERC20 for most tokens, and even ERC721 tokens for things like NFTs.
Totally makes sense. And don't forget, if someone's leaning toward hardware wallets for top-notch security, they need to ensure that the wallet supports the assets and dApps they intend to use.
Exactly. Some hardware wallets might have limitations, especially with certain tokens or integrations. It's a fine balance: security versus
Absolutely.
function.
In conclusion, whether you prefer the convenience of software wallets or the robust security of hardware and paper wallets, understanding these options is key to managing your crypto safely, wouldn't you say?
Yes, indeed. Each type has its advantages and drawbacks, and knowing them helps you make an informed decision based on your individual needs and risk tolerance.
Yep. Well, that was a detailed tour through the world of Ethereum wallets. I think anyone listening now has a much clearer picture of what's involved.
For sure. Remember, in the crypto world, staying informed and vigilant is as important as accessing the power of a decentralized network.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining in on this deep dive. Till next time, keep those keys safe and your mind even sharper.
Cheers to that, and thank you everyone for tuning in.